watch for the moves, they're not hard to find. Strong arm tactics so loud, only themselves in mind. Every player has dreams of making ORCA fame. They'll live on in the minds of those who get in their way. ORCA's all say, don't come for me. Mid-merge boots, they're so vain. As we set up the podcast webcam, the pod is here to talk ORCA game. ORCA King CK with delusions of fame. In this LRG world, he's the apex predator. Danny and Jules in tow, always ready to go. Now it's time for the show, they're the apex predators.
Hello and welcome to the ORCA Pod, the Apex Predators of Australian Survivor LRG podcasting. We have come to the end of our Sydney Survivor Season 2 coverage. And of course, the end is the biggest night of all. It is the night of nights in the ORCA Pod. It's the night of nights for one person who will be joining the Congress this evening, the greatest moment of their life. I don't care what they've achieved in their life. How successful they've been, whether they've met their life partner, whether they have children. All of these things are nothing in comparison to joining the Congress of the Orcas. Some people will only ever get one shot to join. Some people have had many shots and have never joined. But tonight, someone from this fantastic season of Sydney Survivor will join the Congress. It's going to be an incredible night. Just letting you know, even though the Sydney coverage is over, we're wrapping up Sydney 2. We have a whole series we're going to be starting from next week on another version of Sydney Survivor, Sydney North Shore Survivor. North Shore popped out of nowhere, did 3 seasons in about 2 minutes. Eden put it on the wiki, so to me it counts now as a season worth reviewing. I've watched the first one. It's only a bit of a 2-hour season, but I really enjoyed it. Really looking forward to getting into it. And then, of course, into the subsequent seasons. And they're going to be dropping a season 4. They've advertised maybe this year, maybe next year. Something to look forward to as a new community joins our broader community and we get to make new orcas. So look forward to that coverage starting next week. But tonight, we crown the orca. Joining me this season has been a pleasure to have her with me. Most of the episodes, providing amazing content in analyzing the gameplay. She brings her old school, no nonsense vibe, but that's what we love about her. And her takes were well loved by many of the cast, especially Shane. Shane really loved Loz's takes. But they were great takes all over the board. Let's bring her in for one final time this season. My partner in crime for this season, really. The other guys were sort of about, but she was really the partner in crime for this season. Welcome.
Oh, hello. Didn't I get a drum roll this time?
I did do the drum roll. It wasn't very loud. I don't know what happened.
Oh.
Sorry, there was a drum roll. How excited! Is this your first time to be on the Night of Nights since you received your award on a Night of Nights?
Well, yes. I think it's all of our first time since we received our award on the Night of Nights.
No, you were on the virtual Night of Nights. Did we do this? We did this for your season.
Oh, yeah. I was on. Yeah, I was in Papua New Guinea.
And yes, you came into the live thing. Did you know you had it sewed up, or did you think that there were other contenders going into that evening?
I didn't understand what it was. I was confused and I didn't know why we were having another podcast. And it took, honestly, it's taken me about 18 months to work it out. And I think I'm finally across the ORCA thing now, but it took a while. I definitely didn't know at the time.
We should explain this because there are some viewers, despite me, I think, going at length to explain what is going on. I guess everyone doesn't watch this as religiously as I hope, and they're not across all of the detail and what we're doing here and how this has happened and how this vote goes about. So each week, for every episode, someone received a Brommy, We had 6 Brommy nominees overall, which we'll get into in a moment. And then I put it to the Congress of the Orcas, who are all the people from the previous LRGs. You saw them in the starting sequence where it says presents the Congress of the Orcas. All of those people are eligible to give a 3-2-1 vote on the Brommy nominees for who is going to be Orca of the season. Had a good turnout of voters again here with the Congress. Not as many as turned out for Brienne, which was quite insane. Everyone but 3 showed up for that vote. But we've had a great response from about 10 orcas. So got a real people think I just pick these orcas. That's what I've heard. They think that I just pick them because of who I like. No, there is an actual democracy happening here with the Congress. So the votes are cast by the orcas, which isn't just me, isn't just Danny, isn't just Loz. It is legitimately a number of people who I do not speak to at all in real life, other than to ask for their votes for this thing.
This is true. This is actually true. You do try to manipulate the Brommies, and we've seen that in action regularly.
Yes. Yes.
But I do know from my experience now as an orca over the last couple of years that you don't actually have any say over who actually gets the orca. That voting is sacred. It is protected, and you, as far as I know, I mean, I don't know what you're doing to people behind the scenes in terms of who they vote for, but it all looks above board.
It is, and my only influence is my 3-2-1. That's it. You know, when Danny and Jules, I was very tempted to rig it and make it so they drew, because I knew that would have been great for them if they both were the orca, but I couldn't do it. As nice as that would have been to do for my 2 friends, I could not impact the synchronicity. That's my favorite word now, synchronicity.
No, that would well, actually, it would probably epitomize what orca is all about, really.
True, but
which is getting what you want at whatever cost, no matter who it hurts.
I think it's what you want, but you got to play by the rules. I don't think we've ever enjoyed, like, complimented players who break the rules. We don't think that's orcaness. That's too far. The rules are the rules. No, you like the rule breakers?
No, I don't like rule breakers. No.
Yeah.
No.
So I wouldn't break the rules for that. It's a legitimate.
Anyway, you look lovely, by the way.
Thank you. As do you.
You went to some really nice effort, and you look lovely. And I didn't brush my hair because I had a nap, because I'm an old lady. So
it looks good naturally.
So I think just a moment that. Sorry, can you, mate?
Yeah, your cat's making random noises. All right. So,
oh my God.
I'm
going to have to go and intervene.
I'm going to give a shout out to Danny, who made this wonderful background. Though Loz doesn't like that it says.
Oh, we're going to have words about.
But, you know, the background's good nonetheless. And this PowerPoint that I'm going to be running through, Danny is always amazing for this. So we're getting into Crowning Walker, and we're going to run through first the Brommies and who they were, what they did, and why they deserve to perhaps be the orca. First up, we've got Ian. I've decided that I'm going to talk about Ian. He only got 1 nomination, which was for episode 1. And look, Ian, it's very hard to win the orca being only in the first episode, but Ian, or you know, in a handful of episodes, the Ian was such a big force. You know, we give this award out to people that demonstrate strong arming tactics. I don't think Ian could have strong armed his tribe more than he actually did. He literally put them all in a headlock and made them do what he wanted. In terms of propensity for narcissism, Ian was playing character. He told us this in his interview that, you know, we saw the real Ian, I think, at the edge when he was providing some comfort and some humor for Nat. And he said that he had been a thespian in his past life. I think he said actor, but I'm saying thespian for fun. A thespian in his past life. So knew how to perform. And what he brought into this season was a character, probably a part of himself, but not the true Ian. And that character was all about Ian, very much showed the propensity for narcissism, and certainly was loud and proud about his behaviors, his views, his opinions, his alliance, who should get voted out, who should not get voted out. I think he might get hurt by the episode count and, generally being a fairly nice guy on the edge and not giving us Orca content on the edge. But I do think this Brommy was well deserved, and I'm glad he was part of the voting pool.
Okay, Tilly. Tilly's mine. And, Tilly's an interesting one for me because I think it takes a lot for an introvert to make it into the Orca count. For an introvert in this game to have gotten a Brommy, there wasn't a lot of Orca behavior in the introverts, and you wouldn't expect there to be a lot of Orca behavior in the introverts because Orca behavior tends to be characterized by your alpha personalities, your type A's, your extroverts. So Tilly has made her way here. I don't know how she feels about that exactly. And I think she stood up on her own against the other introverts, being a more decisive player. And because we didn't see a lot of decisiveness, a lot of clear strategy amongst the introverts until really close to the end of the game. But I think we saw it from Tilly early, and it really set her apart from a lot of the other introverts who were playing a very, very safe game. So I think you can be nominated, get a Brommy, be in the running for an Orca, and not necessarily, characterize all the features that make an Orca. And I don't think Tilly is an Orca. She's too nice. She's a really lovely person. I've met her in person now, and she's not an Orca, and I think that's a good thing, and I think she'd be happy with that. But I like that she's made it into our count, and it's nice to see an introvert or two in our countdown, leading up to whoever wins it. So, yeah, hopefully she'll feel okay about that.
I don't think that she wants to win this award. When I met her for the first time at the Orca Drinks in Melbourne, and I explained what this was all about and that she had 2 Brommies, she got a bit concerned because I gave her the Orca criteria, and she would hate to be perceived as being narcissistic or potentially loud and proud, though that's less concerning. And I said, with the Brommies, that you don't always need all 3 criteria to get the Brommy nom for the week. Sometimes just one of those 3 criteria standing out will get you the nomination. And for her, she certainly would strong-arm the game in a few places. She was a dominant player, strong-armed the outcome to her will in the first vote that she went to in getting Joe. I keep getting this wrong because Joe was her person. She didn't really strong arm anything. I don't know why we gave that to her. But there was some other stuff where she was really getting in Mac's face, which was very enjoyable. So I don't think she's here to win it, but I'm sure she's happy to be nominated and leave it at that.
Yeah. And look, I mean, in the end, an introvert won the season. I think it would be a disservice to extroverts across all survivors and LRGs if an extrovert didn't win the Orca. But, it's nice to see our introverts in the mix.
You're also going to talk about Isabelle.
Oh, Belle was the absolute epitome of an Orca from the start of the game. And it really, I actually think she showed much more Orca behavior than almost anybody else in the game. And it was only that she was taken out when she was taken out at the at merge that we really, this wasn't an absolute, whitewash, and she didn't just take it out completely. For me, her move that was just pure Orca was dragging Mac out of the extroverts tribe into the introverts tribe for no reason other than she could and she wanted to. And it created pure chaos. It was a disaster really in terms of then, well, it ended up great for Mac in that he was saved either way. But we talked about it at length. It served no real strategic purpose. She did it because she could. She had the power. She had the advantage. So she used it. And Isabelle played her own game. She said what she needed to say. She didn't care what people thought. She was a big presence. People liked her or didn't like her. She didn't care. It was pure Orca behavior from start to finish. And had she made it further into the merge, I think she would have been an absolute shoo-in to take out ORCA for this season. I'm sad that we didn't get to see more of her. But what we got was absolute top tier ORCA behavior.
Absolutely. And she was a avid campaigner for this. She's very passionate about wanting to win it. And I must say, I know the votes and they're close. So it is not a runaway victory for anybody. Anyone is up in this contention. And so, stay tuned to see how it comes out in the votes. Next, we have Nat. I get the pleasure of speaking about Nat. My history with Nat is well documented. A good friend of mine and someone that I really admire for the struggles that she's gone through and how she's really taken control of her life in a positive way, overcome some negative circumstances, and really been brave and proud and strong, while being at the same time one of the most ORCA people you will ever meet, just all the time. Like, it's just who she is. She is loud and proud. I wouldn't say she's incredibly narcissistic, but she's loud and proud and loves to just strong arm her way through life. Certainly now in her life, she will get what Nat wants, because that's how Nat goes. She has an exceptional record that I don't think is ever going to be beaten in our LRG community. She has 3 Brommy noms over 2 seasons and only played in 2 episodes. Yeah. So she has more Brommy noms than episodes she was actually playing Survivor. She received 1 in this season, 2 in this season, both which came on the edge, not within the actual episode that she was in herself. I think it takes a lot to shine and get the ORCA, get the Brommy for an episode where you're featured maybe 5 minutes? 5 minutes at the edge.
Oh, it was exceptional. It was for actual, minutes on screen and confessionals that we actually got. Nat would absolutely set records. And I think I said this to her when we did her interview following her boot, that, I mean, her exit will absolutely go down in LRG history as the most dramatic, the most shocking, the most ORCA exit I think we'll ever see in an LRG. She's made history, and it's phenomenal. I just love it. I love the unpredictability of her. You don't know what she'll do next. I can only imagine what we would have gotten if we'd seen more of Nat, either in uncharted waters or in Sydney, because she is pure television gold. I stand by. I think I nominated her for the Brommy for the Edge Challenge episode, and best nomination. I think the whole season. Loved it. Love her.
That was the one I wanted to give to Tyrone. I was never able to give it to Tyrone after that. That was the one episode that I probably could have got Tyrone up, and you pushed for Nat, and you orchid it. You got your result. I'm proud of Nat, her record. Could never get Tyrone in there, sadly. I'm talking about the Mac Daddy. First, I've said it before on this show. First time I met this guy, he said, "I'm going to be the ORCA of Sydney 2 when it eventually comes out." I'm like, these are big words. And honestly, you see, he went on a bit of a run closer to the end. But those first 4 episodes, it wasn't super ORCA. It was a guy playing a good strategic game, a guy who was out of the numbers, who worked his way back into the numbers, largely through Belle's assistance, really, to do the flip that was created, where Shane and Maddie came over and joined Mac, Belle, and Marissa. Wasn't super ORCA about everything early on the game, but after the merge hit, he found a lot of advantages and played them in the most ORCA way possible. Got a real big head about himself as he went on. Certainly the narcissism shone strong while being loud about his play. Looked to strong arm people left and right. And we've got to say that I'm not sure if it was episode 10 or episode 11. But the one where he tells Oscar that he's, a goat and no one will bring him to the end because he's going to lose. Everyone will bring him to the end. And so you might as well go with Mac because Mac will bring him to the end, and then Oscar's an idiot. Like that one was getting next level. It's a very small class of people that have 4 nominations in one season. I should actually pull this up. And to be fair, it's a small class of people, and Mac's the most prominent of those people. And I'll say why in a minute. So the people that have 4 in one season are Calvin from Melbourne season 2, myself from my season, and now Mac. But those ones for me and Calvin have been done retrospectively. We didn't actually hand out Brommies per episode. I've just gone back and made it a call and ran it past Danny and Jules, and they've given me notes if they want to tweak what I did. So I did it so I have Brommy stats, but I won't claim, even though I gave myself 4, it's not a legitimate 4. It wasn't. You just
claimed it.
I'm just saying, though, it's not a legitimate 4 in the way
that you shouldn't have said it.
No, I'm just being honest. Because with Max, we have to fight for these. You're on the show. Other orcas are on the show. We have debates about who gets these Brommies. So it's not always one person's decision. And, as much as I tried to get Tyrone in there, I never could because it is not one person's decision. So Max 4 in a season is probably the most impressive Brommy performance we have seen, noting that mine and Calvin's are somewhat artificial.
Yeah, look, I think Matt has a couple of unique features to how he's managed to get 4. And one of them is it was a season of extroverts versus introverts where the introverts wiped out the extroverts. And naturally, extroverts are going to be more likely to behave in an orca manner and end up getting Brommy nominations. So I think just in terms of who he was playing with and the circumstances of the game, I think that worked in his favor. And it's much easier to be an orca, to exhibit orca behavior when you sort of had nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. When you're at a point in the game where, you don't have a lot of control over your own survival anymore. You're down in numbers. Your alliance have ditched you. You can be a lot more orca. You can be a lot more, snarky in your confessionals. You can be more in people's faces. You can pull those kind of moves where you stand and say to Oscar, you're a goat and no one's going to take you to the end, but I'll take you to the end. Even though it's kind of nonsense, you can get away with that a lot more. So I think Mac had a couple of things working for him in these nominations. I'm not downplaying his orcaness or the fact that there's absolutely, that narcissism there, but not all seasons play out the way this one played out. And an introvert versus extrovert, an extrovert like Mac is always going to, float to the top of, the group with orca behavior. Also, that's all I'm saying. I'm not taking away from him at all. Just throwing that out.
They're great points. And I think he's also assisted by finding a few of those advantages and lasting a lot longer than people who behave the way he lasted usually do. Normally people that behave that way are taken out sooner. Isabelle, merge boot. Orcas often go merge, maybe the vote after, maybe 2 votes. That's why we say mid-merge boots. That's why we say that.
Absolutely. Purely lasting longer. I think Isabelle was absolutely every bit as narcissistic and in your face and strong arming and all of those things as Mac. We just didn't get as much of her.
Yeah. Next we have your beloved Oscar.
Our last one. Oh, and I think Oscar should be an orca simply because he absolutely convinced me in his video at the pre-game interview that he was going to be this absolute beast of a guy. He didn't care about the game. He was going to take people out. He was going to laugh in their faces. He was going to target the fans. I was so just drawn to this idea that we were going to get this incredible villain. We don't get villains. And I'm a villainess and I love it. I love to see some villain behavior. And I was convinced. And it took the entire season, the whole season, before we saw anything from Oscar that even resembled what we had seen in that pre-game interview. It's like two different people. It's like he's got two different personalities. There was Oscar the villain and Oscar who played the game. But what he pulled out in the final episode was absolutely everything I had hoped from him the whole game. He finally stood up and went, well, you know what? Screw you all. I played a great game. You all think I'm not going to get a vote? Let me show you. And did he pull it out of the bag? He absolutely did. His confessionals were gold. His final tribal council performance was a work of art. I don't think anyone saw it coming. He managed to squirrel votes away, you know, that would have gone to Beck without even a thought. People who never considered voting for anyone but Beck. Oscar managed to pull that out just by his performance at Final Tribal. Was any of it real? Was any of it true? Probably not. I don't know. I think he's a phenomenal actor. And I just loved that he actually did embrace all of the aspects of the game, and he embraced the orcaness of it without even realizing he was doing it. I'm still so happy I picked him as my first draft, and I'm so glad that we got to see that inner villain and that, you know, that real player, even if it was at the 11th hour.
Some honourable mentions need to go before we reveal the tally. We did at one point give Christy the Brommy for episode 6, which ultimately has been given to Belle. There was a suggestion that Christy, during the episode, made herself the reward for the challenge, and that wasn't run by a production, and Christy just sort of did it herself without any expectation. That's what we were told at points during our coverage. I think it's later been confirmed that it was the plan for her to be a reward. It wasn't something she came up with on the spot. So ultimately, I have given that Brommy to Belle for that episode, who we were tossing up between. Of course, Tyrone. I spent the entire season trying to get Tyrone a Brommy, but Loz ultimately, you blocked him. He dragged you to hell once, and now you've left him there. To be fair, every time you argued about it, you were right. That's why I conceded. If I felt you were wrong, I would have argued the point stronger. But you were always right, and I knew in my heart of hearts that you were right. So I had to concede the argument, and sadly, Tyrone never quite got there for a Brommy. But I think, you know, an honourable mention, at least from my efforts to get in there, is worthwhile. Right, so you want to talk about Tyrone?
Oh, look, I mean, you know what? As long as you feel better now that Tyrone's in the Orca mix somewhere, even without a Brommy, then as long as you're happy, I'm happy, because I think Tyrone's okay either way.
It's a quite little AI-based Photoshop that Danny's done here as well. It looks really good. Literally look out there to get some quality work, Danny. Thank you. So the tally. I don't have numbers for the tally. I'm just going to have to read them out. So look, it should be no surprise that there's a clear top 2, but I'll go through the ones before the top 2. So on one vote was Tilly. Do you think she should be happy with the fact she got a vote? Or do you think she would have preferred 0 votes?
You know, it's hard to say. I don't know. I would probably have to ask Tilly.
She got 1. Ian got 1 as well. And also, not really eligible, but sometimes the orcas will just vote for things that they think are funny or otherwise just what they feel like. Mark threw 1 at Eli for naming giving that episode title, like his bad luck quote about the poker thing from episode 1. Like that was a bit of a crass line, and then like he made it the episode title, and Mark thought that deserved a vote.
Yeah, I'm pretty here for that. I actually thought that was a pretty good call.
So 1 vote for Eli. despite not having a Brommy. Next, in equal third, we have both Nat and Oscar with 3 votes each. Well done, Nat and Oscar. Which means we obviously have a clear top 2 with a lot more votes between them of Mac and Isabelle. And we've got them both backstage so they can be part of this very exciting moment. Let's bring a ding ding. Mac Daddy's the king. Here he is.
Ring a ding ding. Mac Daddy's in the ring, CK.
You've written newest Orca.
Oh my goodness!
Yet.
Look at you two.
I just get prepared for it, CK. So I thought I'd just update the name there. Looking good, mate. Looking sharp, Loz. How are you? Looking well as well. You could have dressed up for the black tie event, but that's all good. I did. I'm sure Belle has as well.
Belle's in the car right now, and she's
is she?
quiz night. But I'm ready to bring her in now. I don't know if this is legal.
I cancelled my plans for this.
I just lost Loz. Hello, I've lost Loz.
Hello.
This is bad timing. Hello, how did you go on your quiz night, Belle? Did you win?
I just went to Disney trivia.
Is that a quiz night or what is that?
Yeah, it was a Disney trivia night at a pub.
Did you win?
Oh, we came third.
Well,
just
tonight
like I'm going to go
might...
third in this place.
You might get one better tonight and come second.
Yeah, at least tonight you
thanks,
can't
Big
come.
Mick Daddy.
You can't come third. You can only come first or second. So
Yeah.
what I'll tell you is it was close. A lot of votes were cast for the 2 of you. One of you received 17 votes, and one of you received 21 votes. There was numerous people gave each of you their 3-pointer. Numerous people gave each of you their 2-pointer. So you were the clear 2 favorites, and it's not a runaway, hearing that 21 to 17. But I have to announce and congratulate that the Orca of Sydney Survivor is the Mac Daddy. I'm sorry, Isabelle. Congratulations.
No, don't be sorry.
Thank you, Belle. Sorry that you came second to me, but I could have done it without you, Belle. Let's say that. I wouldn't be here, wouldn't have made it as far, wouldn't have got the votes at the end. So thank you, Belle.
Thank you, Mac.
But let's be honest, I deserve this from a long way out. Like, the game says it all. I've been waiting 3 years for this award, essentially, since the game finished. I knew it was going to be me. I told CK when I met him, 18 months ago? And here we are. Never in doubt.
Well, it wasn't
There
doubt.
we are. You know what? That in
was
itself
close.
is proof that, yep, you were the Orca.
No, like,
There's that arrogance.
I think there's a sense of, like, the Orca of the season is the person who's like the big bad wolf of the season. Everyone's against them. Everyone respects them but fears them at the same time. And whilst Belle was someone that had Orca characteristics, there's no doubt that was me on our season. Like, the whole game was centered around me and everyone was against me. And you two were the same people in your season. You're like this powerhouse that people just, you had a boss energy about you, and I had the same thing. And that's why we're Orcas. Some people get awarded the Orca, but some people are just born that way. And that's what we are.
This is an incredible Orca speech from the Mac Daddy.
I'm just in awe. Keep going.
Are you an Orca? Yeah, okay. No, that's just how it is. Like, some people, it's just how we get given the chance to play a Survivor game to show what we are as Orcas. So, I'm proud to join the pod. Is it what do we call the flock of Orcas? A Congress.
Your wife is very excited for you.
She's excited. She's upstairs. She's here cheering from here. Yeah, look, she knew as well. Let's be honest. So she puts up with me every day. She knows.
Well, she's married to you, so yeah, she knew.
She's a little bit biased, but she's not always on my side for these things. But who else is it going to be? Belle's had a very good shout, and a lot of votes. Belle, very good, very proud of you. But as Loz said, like, in our season, being extroverts is a huge advantage for us. So in a season where only half the cast could essentially be an Orca. Yeah, and our tribe got decimated so quickly that I was like the last man standing. So maybe that's part of it, but I'll take it anyway. I don't care.
I think you're very well deserving of the award, but I do think the longevity of the season played a factor. I think if you're the merge boot and Belle runs to Final 5, it might be a different story because you were both such big Orca characters. Yeah,
no, absolutely, potentially that's true. But also, like, I guess it comes down to I did get that far, and it wasn't just because there was some skills and stuff that got me there, and I guess ORCA things with, like you said, with idols and stuff, which that you don't just get given them. I had to do a lot of work to get those. So I think it's the game as a whole, and then to be rewarded with this it's better than winning. Let's be honest. I if you look at my preseason interview at the start of that, I said I don't want to win the game and not be myself as a character. I would rather be the biggest character and not go as far, and that's exactly what I did. And this is the crowning achievement of that, and the validation that I was that I was after, to be honest.
Belle,
Yeah,
do you want to say
absolutely.
any words to
I
your-
completely agree. I felt exactly the same way. It wasn't about winning. I'd much rather be remembered
Right.
than as a loser than forgotten as a winner.
Not as a loser, Oz, as an ORCA.
and in our world, losers are also known as orcas.
That's right.
Bex says she would prefer to win.
And there we are, the difference
that's the
between the
introvert in
introverts
Bex.
and the extroverts.
Well,
Belle,
she
do you
would
have
say
any
that, but I
final
reckon the
words?
others, only one person can win, and I guess only one person can win the ORCA. But it's easier to. Is it easier to win the ORCA? It probably is, because you can take your game to do that, and I virtually did take my game, but I recovered well enough to get to the finale. So yeah, that obviously counts for something.
Belle, thanks for joining us in your car. Do you have any final words for your partner in crime who you helped get this far?
Well, when I signed up for Sydney Survivor, I didn't even know what it was, and let alone a ORCA podcast. So I had no idea about that they would be watching and judging my game and giving me all these points about my ORCA energy to this day is still psychotic, I say. People don't understand the community that we're in. But 17 points, that's pretty wild. Being only first boo in merge, obviously I wasn't there playing the game. I definitely still have had a lot to show, and I definitely would still be probably that world win in merge. But Mac played an amazing game from the first moment all the way until the finale. I watched everything. I was on that log. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get the win in Sydney Survivor, and I didn't get a win in ORCA, but I wouldn't want the ORCA to go to anyone else in Sydney Survivor too.
Thanks, Belle. I appreciate that. That's very nice.
She did tell me in Melbourne that she was going to be happy if you won it, Max. She did say that legitimately. She was going to be happy.
No, I believe that. Yeah, we are friends. I have a lot of respect for Belle out there, and still do. So it's nice. It's nice that it's the two of us, because we were such a close team out there. So to be the last two standing for this award, well, we're the most fun two there is, I guess.
Thanks, Belle. I appreciate you joining us from the car. Thank you for being a great part of this season and our coverage.
See you, Belle.
No, can't wait for the next one.
Right. I'm going to move you, Mac, and you can have some final words if you want. I'm going to put you there.
Yeah, cool.
There you go. Look at you. There you go with the crown. I'm going to say that. There.
No.
There.
Okay.
Oh, that's
There we
me.
go.
Oh.
I got the crown on. That's
All right.
I'll just go
The ORCA of the season. It's your chance for some final words about this.
Yeah, cool. Okay, just real quick, I just want to talk a bit of the holistic picture of LRGs. Yeah, worldwide, it was mainly Australia-wide. If you're watching this and you're going to play one, or you have played one, or you're thinking about playing another one, go out there and just be a character. Don't try and play under the radar. That's the most boring way to play. You're not going to get TV time. You're not going to be remembered. So if you're not going to win the game doing that, don't do it at all. You may as well just go out there, be yourself, and be as big, as bad as you can be, and have some fun doing it. And that's exactly what I tried to do from the start. As CK said, the first few episodes, I was trying to find my feet a bit, but I guess once I was on the back foot, that's when you sort of get, pushed against the wall, and you sort of, you come out swinging a bit more, and you can go a bit more big, I suppose. So that's what I would say to people who are looking to play. I'm very proud of myself to become the ORCA, and ring-a-ding-ding, Mac Daddy is officially the king.
Congratulations, Mac.
Thanks, guys.
Done. Thank you for congratulations again. Well done on your season, for your performance, your participation in our coverage this season. and that work you continue to do for Sydney Survivor in keeping future players being able to play part of this game we all love. Well done.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I love the work you guys have done all season, and look forward to whatever's coming next. North Shore Survivor, you say? Maybe I'll have to check it out.
Well, as an officially ordained ORCA, you now get express pass opportunities to participate in the podcast. So I know your podcast died a slow death, quick death, not sure which, but it ended nonetheless. And now you can come and be a part of a slow death. You can become part of our podcast. I don't know if we get more listeners than you got or about the same, but at least there's people listening when we do a show, and you're welcome to join us at some point now being part of the Congress.
Just say the word, CK. I've got plenty of free time. Well, I don't really, but I can watch the season with you and play along as we go. It's good. It's always good fun to chat.
Thanks, Mac. Appreciate it. Well done.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Loz. See ya.
Bye.
And thank you, Loz, so much for your participation in this season. So said, it's been a hefty load, because I can tell you doing one of these seasons, and I do this like all the time, but even it gets on top of me sometimes. Doing one season, 12, 14, 15 eps with the extra stuff we do can be exhausting. Doing back-to-backs, 30 weeks can be really exhausting. And I feel like Mark and Josh bailed out, like just couldn't go around again after Uncharted Waters. But you stuck with me. You've been here through and through.
Hey, we've done it in multiple countries. I've done this in multiple cities. It's gone from, I think we started and I was coming home from Turkey, and then back to PNG, and then there was pods in Brisbane, and then I went to Africa, and then I came home. So it has spanned the planet, actually.
Half a year of just back-to-back podcasting. You've moved around the world. You've dealt with tech issues. You've dealt with new locations. And you've been here almost every week throughout that, providing wonderful takes, wonderful commentary that the audience and particularly the cast members have really appreciated. Fantastic, no nonsense, no holds barred, but respectful and high quality takes that people have really, really enjoyed. Thank you so much for being part of the Congress and for being part of our coverage for this season and Uncharted Waters. I think you're going to take a little well-earned break, but you, of course, always welcome on the podcast at any time. You are one of our orcas and one of our faves. So thank you so much for your hard work over the last half year on these pods.
That's so nice. Thank you. No, this is, you know, Max said it, that it matters more being an orca than winning. I mean, most of us as orcas never think we can win the game, really. Like, we might say it, but I don't think any of us believe it, because players like us don't win. We don't play, you know, solid enough games to be able to win. So it's nice to find your place in the community. Even though you're not a winner, you still find your people. Yeah. And obviously our communities are our people, but there is something special about the ORCA, the Congress of the Orcas. And, you know, as one of the early females there, I'm very happy to be a part of it. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Next week, we will be back starting this North Shore coverage. If you want to watch it with us, it's literally, the first season is only an hour and 40 minutes. It's sort of a bit of a Melbourne Survivor 1 vibe, but it's really, actually really, really good. I'm looking forward to watching season 2, which is more of an episodic content, because the quality of this season as a first effort is very, very impressive. I was able to follow most of the plots. I wasn't able to follow what was going on with the advantages, but I was able to follow what was going on with the plots. There are good characters in it. The winner is excellent. And there's a number of really strong characters playing good games. I particularly enjoyed the winner, I have to say. The winner potentially has orca potential in a bit of a controversial circumstance. You know, you just said orcas can't win, and I was like, is this guy going to win? So go and check it out. And we'll be covering it next week, and then a few eps on that, and then we'll go into North Shore 2. Going to be doing a bit of a North Shore run over the next couple of weeks, months, before a new season comes out. I hear there's lots of seasons coming out in 2027, maybe late 26. So the ORCA Pod will continue, as always, covering these shows. Thank you to everyone who's joined us live for our Sydney coverage. Thank you to all of the people that put Sydney Survivor 2 together. Eli and Byron, obviously the creators of Sydney 1 originally. And then, of course, there was a whole gaggle of people helping out. And I'm probably going to miss people if you like, and if I miss you, I'm sorry. Danny was a big part of it. TK was big on the challenges, I believe. Lizzie, I believe, was there. Ethan was running the edge. We had anybody else there? Jules was there, I believe, filming.
Mel did props.
Mel did props. Michelle was there. Sam Green was there. There might have been other people on the production committee. I'm sorry if I've missed you. I haven't gone and watched the credits. I wasn't there. I've just been aware of people that were involved. But a whole group of people came together to make this season as great as it was. Season 1 was Eli and Byron by themselves. This one, people came, they built it together, and a real effort, put together a really great season. I think the season was edited mostly by Eli, but I think Marcus Moore did a few episodes as well. So congratulations to everyone that was involved in putting this season together. Really enjoyed it. Fantastic work. Another great addition to our LRG community and seasons of episodes. Thank you so much to those creators and for having us be part. Here we go. We've got some names. Danny, Jules, Byron, I got that, Michelle, Michael, I didn't say Michael, I said Mel, Christy, Steve, Simon, I don't know who Simon is, Marcus, so many people. We got most of those. Congratulations to all those people. Thank you to you, Loz. Thank you to everyone that's been a part of our coverage this season. We will be back next week with our North Shore, but, you know, we'll always be around. And until then, we, for the last time on Sydney Survivor, will dance.